to African Teapot Podcast. My name is Exie and I'm your host. Journey with me through Africa's vast variety of culture, heritage, and discuss issues most African families face, both home and abroad. Make sure you add this podcast to your frequent podcast rotations, and don't forget to share and follow this podcast. Hello listeners, and thank you for tuning into African Teapot for another episode. And today's episode is titled Africans as Hosts. And just in a couple of seconds, we're going to get into that discuss. But let's have our usual mental check. How far, right? As for me, I'm okay, and I am actually feeling a whole lot better. Because if you remember last week, I wasn't having such a good week. But this week is definitely better, and this week definitely felt better, and I took positive energy from those around me and those I talked to. So hopefully you did get to re-energize yourself with some positive energy to push you through the next few working days, or not just the next few days. And if you are someone who's already in the spirit and you're happy and you're already in the merry mood, please do try to share that energy with someone that you see struggling, right, through this period. Okay, that being said, guys, let me go ahead and jump into our proverb for today's episode. Today's proverb says, 1 spoon of soup in need has more value than a pot of soup when in abundance. And I thought this tied perfectly with our discuss for today, and also tied perfectly with the season. Last week we were talking about sharing, and this week we're talking about how we Africans do the things, like how we Africans host people, right? How we want to entertain. The idea behind entertaining when an African intends to entertain or whatever. So we are trying to talk about that. And I'm just going to go into why I thought this was a perfect time to do this. One, being the season of giving and sharing, that definitely played a part to it. And two, I was talking to someone who got interested as to how we prepare for the occasions we host, because he attended I think a Congolese wedding or something, and he was pretty excited about it. And so we got into the conversation of hosting and the differences in how we do or why we do the things we do, from how, here in the States or in different parts of the world, how they do hosting, how they host people. Okay, so one of the things that I want to put out here is from a cultural perspective. If you're African, you will relate to this. And if you're someone who is close to Africans or you've been to African parties, you will see it's a reoccurring theme. One thing about hosting, when growing up, we are taught that it is how somebody treats you that matters, right? Not what the person is giving you. I know someone will say, well, isn't that the case everywhere? But I'm like, no, for us, it's a practical thing. We not only say that, we instill it practically in young minds. So when growing, like, hey, if I'm going to an occasion, whatever that person gives me is the best they have, right? So we do not go to a party and think, well, this person selfishly hosted us. We just have that belief that this is the best they have. So if you go to someone's house, in any of the African countries, this is a general statement, a general cultural statement. If you go to someone's home or anywhere where someone is hosting, if they offer you a glass of palm wine, they offer you garden eggs, they offer you bitter cola, they offer you, you understand, sweet cola, whatever it is they offer you. They offer you peanuts, water, they offer you a place to sit while you guys chit chat or gossip for the day or whatever it is, right? For us, that is hosting. That's how hosting should feel that way, right? So that's why people will tell you, well, I visited whatever country it is that they visited in Africa, and they could see poverty And yet the people were so happy. The people were like sitting, chit-chatting, they were dancing, playing games and whatever, because we are taught to take time to marry one another. It is a cultural thing. Hopefully you understand that. But I just wanted to put that out there first and get it out of the way so you understand why when you go to someone's house, if they go combing their fridge to give you something, it's just something that is innate in us. We do that, right? We don't necessarily believe that, oh, hey, you're hosting and we're going to go out to go eat. It's more like you're hosting and you offer me what you have, pretty much. And whatever you're offering me is your best. I understand it's what you can get at the time. Maybe it was unprecedented. Maybe my visiting was unprecedented. Or maybe it was, you knew about it. But what you had is what you've given. You see, that is proper African hosting. That's the spirit behind hosting. Now let's go into the minds of different of Africans when they're hosting from whatever country and ethnic groups they're coming from, right? So one of it is host offer the best to visitors. I just talked about that. That's just a general cultural norm for us. And how the things that a host checks when they know that they have people coming over. One is cleaning. Cleaning your house, and that is cleaning both in and outside. You will if you have to cut the grass, you're going to cut the lawn. You're going to sweep it. It doesn't matter if you're using a cutlass, it doesn't matter whatever, a broom, it doesn't matter. But you have to do that and clean. You have to dust your house, right? Make sure the chairs are placed. It doesn't matter if they're using benches, they would clean the benches. Like, cleaning is a very vital part in African hosting. Just saying. Food, drinks, music, and not forgetting, guys, the most important part, or one of the most important parts, is outfits. Because one thing people would tell you is when you're going to an African party, people are well dressed. It is just something that we grew up with. When you're marrying, you go with your best. That's what we're talking about. You wear your best, right? You try. And someone will say, well, it's a show off. But when you dress nice, you intend to feel nice. Think about it. When you go to your closet and you pick out not the best, but a very good outfit, your mood changes too. You understand? So I know someone will say it doesn't change inside, but it uplifts you to some degree. And so we Africans put a lot of effort and emphasis on outfits when we are thinking about hosting a party. You, the host, have to look good. You have to get the food ready, the drinks ready, you clean your house. And one also very important aspect is you have to have music. And not all the time, but that's if it's like a pre-planned party, right? You're throwing like a pre-planned party. But if not, if it's just sitting and talking, music isn't that necessarily all the time. Like just for, let's say someone stopped by. Obviously, you're not going to go around playing music at that time. But if you plan a get-together, then Africans know this music is very vital. Moving to the next point. African occasions are usually open unless otherwise. Now Africans already know what I'm saying, but I'm going to go ahead and try to explain this. So when an African hosts a party, it's not locked. Like, you don't need a special invite to attend the party unless they tell you strictly by invitation. If the neighbor attends, the better, right? Like, that's how we Africans see it. So sometimes someone will be like, oh, I'm going to a party, you can come. You'll be like, but I don't know your friend. I don't know. It doesn't matter to us. Like, which takes me to the next point. Number is a big deal for Africans. So the more, the merrier, right? So if my neighbor can come join in me sharing happiness, in me sharing my mood or my success, the better. We want to spread that positivity. I don't know if that is, I don't know, but that also comes in when you have a lot of problems. You need moments where you need to de-stress. That helps. So maybe that's why we do a lot of hostings like that. We don't host and close it. The neighbor can come. Even if the food is short, we're going to share it. Like, that's how African hosting, or that's how we Africans, even those attending the thing. That's why an African will literally tell you, it's okay to come to my friend's baby shower, right? And you're wondering, well, does your friend know that I'm coming? Or it doesn't matter because our parties are usually open, unless otherwise stated. Africans use every occasion as merry. We already talked about this. They are pretty excited. So you go for a kid's birthday, you see the adults dancing, eating, and merrymaking. You would be wondering if it's a party to a 1-year-old. Right? We use every opportunity to distress, to share joy, to share the happiness, to celebrate each other, celebrate, everybody that happens to be here at that time, because living and is a blessing to us. We're happy about it. So we tend to do that. Another thing is, all food and drinks are done by the end. So an African host would not feel happy if they cook and put drinks and if people don't eat it, or people don't try to take some home and stuff like that, then probably they see that as not being necessarily a successful occasion that they hosted, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And one other thing is, we like catching up with each other. And very important, Africans most often, they do not have end times. Like, they don't have a party from like 9 to 10. Or even if they say 9 to 10, believe me and trust me, people are going to stay longer than 10 p.m. It's just what it is. Unless, I don't know, it's a hall that is going to shut down or something, or that person is going to shut down the party. But we love merrymaking. So sometimes we say, oh, what time is the party starting and what time is the party ending? And an African can give you, be like, maybe around 8ish, because one, you guys know us with time. You say 8, we're going to show up at 9 in the first place. You guys know what it is. I'm not saying it's right, but hey, we're talking about Africans and hosting. And at the same time, if you ask us, okay, so when is this going to end? We don't know when it's going to end either, right? Like if people are happy, we don't like cutting it short, you see. And we believe and then when the music is going on, you would wonder, you would be like, the kids know how to dance, the older folks in there know how to dance. We Africans like dancing with our waist. That's just a different topic on its own. But guys, this period, if you know an African, they have invited you for one of their occasions and you're feeling worried about going, do not. Because when they see you, trust me, you realize everyone will be trying to make you, who is the guest, very comfortable. So if they're a group of Africans that have been hanging out for a long time, right? And then they have one new person invited, even if you're third hand invited into it, they're going to make sure that you, who is new, has the best time compared to the others who are old friends or something. So don't feel bad going. We love sharing, especially our food. We love sharing. If they have the means, they will fill the entire table with food and drinks. And then there is music. Know you're going to dance. Somehow, some way, shape, or form, you're going to get up and you're going to do something, right? And for Africans, you dance to be unique, not dancing to do the right thing, right? So it is merry, 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 merry. And I thought, because I discussed this with the colleague, and I thought maybe I should just bring this out here. If you're nervous about going to an African party, or do not, because when you go, trust me, you definitely will feel like they knew you were coming. Even if they didn't invite you, they would treat you, you would think they were thinking of you when they made the party and they are happy that you showed up, right? And they would always try to invite you for the next one, and they'll hold you to it because it's a cultural thing. It's not people pretending, that you're here or something, because that's what the colleague was thinking. Like, oh, maybe they didn't want to be rude. No, it's just something in us. If you can host a party and one new person gets in there and has a good time, then you were a fantastic host. That's how we see it. So don't get nervous about going to African occasions, especially during this festive period. We love to. Even if there is one at your place of work or wherever, you mention it, you ask them, hey, are you guys doing anything? Even if they're not, because you ask, trust me, they're going to host you. They're going to make it happen. That's how we are. So hopefully that gets those of our fellow brothers and sisters joining our African family here on African Teapot. If you're listening, please don't be nervous about it. Please don't think we are not happy that you showed up. Don't think we think there's something wrong with you because we didn't give you an invite. Don't think, because you ate so much of the rice, or you love, or when you weren't invited, we were upset. No, we are all happy. We are grateful to know one other person, and we always like to convert. So if we can convert you to an African, that's the spirit we have. And those of you who've attended, that it's literally like they're trying to convert you from American or Canadian or European to African, right? That's how we are raised. So at this juncture, I'm gonna pause, and then I will see you guys next week for yet another episode. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening, and hope you join me for the next episode. You can always reach us via email at africanteapot@gmail.com, and follow us on Instagram at african_teapot.